In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how enabling a module can have immediate impact on our site. The module that we're going to use to extend the functionality of this Drupal site right now is the Forum module. First, let's take a quick review of the functionality our site currently offers. I'm going to head back to our site. We're going to take a quick look at the layout here. What I want to see is under the Tools box on the left-hand side. Right now, the only tool available is Add Content. And generally, the menu looks as we expect. Right now, we have some content on the front page. We have some submenus. We have a fairly simple site overall. If I want to add some content, I'll click on Tools, Add Content here. The options that we have available are Article and Basic Page. So just two content types available to us right now. Under the People menu under Manage, one of the options that's available here are permissions. And we're just going to take a quick look under the F section of permissions and see that what we can control are permissions for Field UI, File, and Filter. And those are the only options under F. There's nothing for Forum because we haven't yet enabled that module. So now that we've taken a quick look at that, we can go to the Extend tab here. And rather than scroll down hunting for the Forum module, I know that's what I want. So I'm going to search and it jumps me immediately to the particular module that I'm looking for. So I want to take a look at this module before I enable it. I want to find out what's required and what requires this module, if anything. I'm going to expand this, and I can see that it requires node, text, field, filter, user, system, entity reference, history, taxonomy, comments, and options. So this module, in order for it to work, a lot of other functionality is also required. All of that functionality is currently enabled. None of these modules that are listed have the word disabled in parentheses after them. So they're all enabled, they're all available on the site, which means that I can enable this particular module. There are no modules that I currently have in my Drupal site that require the Forum module themselves. So this is an add-on that's not required by anything else. Since this is a core module, it came with the Drupal install that we downloaded from Drupal.org. I'm not too concerned about reviewing other aspects of the module to make sure that the module is one that's okay to enable on the site. It is still always a good idea to test your site after you enable a module, even if you're enabling a core module, because sometimes code in one module can conflict with code in another module. That's something that you want to catch before you release it to the public. So we're going to go ahead and enable this module. I'm going to click on the little checkbox next to it, and then I'm going to click on the big Save Configuration button so that this module is enabled. So a few things have happened here. In order for this particular module to work, there are some rows that needed to be added to the database. So that's been done. What's also been done is that this module has been enabled and certain functionality will now exist on the site that we didn't have previously. I'm going to filter back down to the Forum module and expand it again. And now you'll see that there is a configure option as well in the description of this module. Since this module is now enabled, there are settings that we might want to set on the module, and this is where we would do so. Before doing that, however, I'm going to quickly show you some of the immediate, instantaneous changes that took place on our site. I'm going to go back to the Content section here and click on Add Content. There is now a new content type, Forum Topic. This didn't exist before we enabled the Forum module, but it automatically was created when we enabled that module. So let's go ahead and add a Forum topic, and we can see how this content type looks different from the other content types which we're familiar. I'm going to add some dummy text. And I'll just go ahead and save this and publish it with all of its default settings. So you're going to see a few things that are different from what you've seen before. For example, there are breadcrumbs here that show home, forums, general discussion. So that forums link is something that we haven't had before. Also, this particular content type immediately has comments enabled. And there's a link here to the general discussion forum. So clicking on that takes me back to general discussion, and any topics that have been created in this forum are now available in a list. We've only created one. In the tools box on the left, add content is no longer the only link. Now there's a forums link. So if I click on that, it's going to take me to all of the forums that are available on this particular site. And you'll see that this has a very distinct look that's very different from anything else that you've seen so far on your site. Also, if I go under People and over to the Permissions tab and scroll down to the F section, you'll see that there are now granular permissions available for the forum category. Okay, I'm going to head back to that forum topic that we just created. And just for the sake of presentation, I'm going to add a comment. And I did this because I now want to go back to forums and then show you that it's actually keeping track of the comments as posts in the topics as well. So in this table, you'll see that there's one topic. There are two posts in that particular topic because there is now a comment on the main topic. So all of this functionality is happening just because we enabled the forum module. It's a very easy way to extend the functionality of our Drupal site. I can also go into structure, and under here there's forums. I can click on that and I can actually adjust the settings of the forums module. So in this case, I can add new forums or containers, and I can click on the settings tab and I can change the way that this module behaves. Clicking on configure in the extend list where all the modules are listed in that description field, this is the destination that doing so would bring me to. This is how modules and enabling modules work on your Drupal site. It's incredibly simple, which is wonderful. Some modules will do more on the back end and won't necessarily create such immediate, dramatic, visible functionality on your site. They may be modules that set the stage for other functionality or other modules, or they might be modules that enhance performance, and so it's not immediately visible. But every module that you enable immediately adds new code to your site and changes the way that your site behaves.